Welcome to the LSU Ag Center Hammond Research Station. My name is Jeb Fields, and I'm the director of the Ornamental Plant Trials at the station. Recently, our Ornamental Trials released our brand new website, the Hammond Trials. And this website gives you access to all the data we collect, all the trial information, all the plant culture information, and everything out there for every single plant we grow. With the release of this website, we've got a lot more interest in how we do our trials and how we conduct our trials. And it's actually in a very scientific process to make sure everything is treated fairly and repeated accurately. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk with some of our people, Ashley Edwards, Maureen Thiessen, and Nicole Bryan, and see how these trials are actually conducted from the day we receive the material to the day we pull it out of the landscape. Let's go see.
So at Hammond here we have several trialing partners that send us the trial material that we put out in the trial gardens every year. Every spring the partners will either send us the plant material as seed or as plug material. We have Nicole Bryan, who's our greenhouse associate here, seeding up some Lucky Star pentas.
Today I'm doing penta seeds, and they do not require vermiculite, whereas most of our trials that come in seed form, we do use vermiculite on top of, just a light coating to protect our seeds. And then we use the Foggett nozzle to water everything in, but we don't want to use a full stream nozzle because it can disturb our seeds, and sometimes they can actually get mixed together. So after all that's done, we use a humidity dome to help our seeds grow.
And we'll let those grow out for several weeks until they're ready to be separated and placed into roughly 4-inch size, where we will take them all the way to finishing.
So once our seedlings are ready to be potted up, Maureen will show you how we pot them up. Make sure, big thing, you always have to tag everything, because at this level, everything looks the same.
So we'll grow all our plants out to finishing, which is different for most varieties. And from here we will bring them out to the shade house where they'll be hardened off for a couple weeks or so before planting in the landscape.
So once the plants have hardened off in the shade house for a few weeks, we bring them out here to the landscape where the magic happens. We do trial some of our plants in containers, and the container trials are expanding as we're seeing that trend across the country get more and more popular. But the landscape trials are still our bread and butter here at the Hammond Research Station. That's what we're known for. So with the landscape trials, what we want to do is make sure that everything is trialed fresh and fairly. And so the way we do that is we make sure that every so often these beds are freshened up and we brought in new life. Every 3 to 5 years, as this organic material breaks down too much, it gets really dense and it holds a lot of water and it's poor for the trials. So we want to put some more media in. So we'll come and scrape off the top layer roughly every 3 years and put down some new mix. And so what we use is just a basic aged pine bark fines, primarily with a lower screen size on it, mixed with some sand. And so what we'll do is we scrape off the old material down to the native soil, and then we'll till in about 2 inches of this new fresh landscape mix, and then we'll put about 2 to 4 inches, depending on which bed it is, on the fresh landscape mix on top of that. By the way, it's all pH adjusted based on where it is in the garden and what we're planting there, but typically a lot of our plants, we're going to adjust the pH to about 6.0. We're going to let that smooth out, sit for a little bit, and then we're going to come and we're going to put pine straw on top of it before we plant anything. And this is going to really help retain the moisture, help benefit the soil health, and it's also going to help prevent weed seed germination. So we really don't want these beds to get weedy because we don't want to have to maintain them too much. So once the beds are all ready to go, we're going to go over and look at what Ashley did. And she's going to come out here and space all these plants. And so right now we have our new Louisiana super plant. This is Suncredible Helianthus Yellow. That's a reblooming, multiple blooming sunflower. And as you see, Ashley spaced these out. At each plant we have here, we have different regulations on how we want to space it. And so we'll space plants in all the trials throughout this entire bed and probably the next 2 or 3 beds. And then we'll come through as a crew, the entire team here at the Hammond Station, and we'll plant these beds just like that. So every bed, every trial is planted the same, fairly, and freshly.